It's your boy, SOSO Juve. We in the building. Let's go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my that way. We got Alias.
Habitual line step in the building. What's up, everybody?
And we got to my that way, the logical genius.
Yo, yo, yo. It's the logical one. You already know. Let's go.
And welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast, the best kept secret in podcasting. And this is another episode of My 5 Cents of the last week for August 5th, that week right there. So, fellas, let's get right into it.
But guys, check it out, right? We talked about Trump a lot in the last couple weeks. He keeps making headlines. And this time, it's not directed at Trump, but it's definitely GOP related, right? So Texas state representatives remain deadlocked over a GOP-backed redistricting plan. And it's aimed at netting 5 Republican additional House seats. So more than 50 Texas House Democrats, you know what? They left. They said, yo, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. That way they don't have the quorum needed to advance the legislation. So in response to the Democrats saying, yo, peace, I'm out, the Republicans issued, get this, a civil arrest warrant. Yo, Governor Greg Abbott is threatened to have them removed from office and pay fines of up to $500 per day. Meanwhile, other state Democratic leaders are getting wind of this and saying, you know what? If you redistrict Texas, we may redistrict other parts of the country, like California and some other states like New York, that say, listen, you want to redraw this plan? We'll do it all over. What do you guys think about that?
This is the beginning. This is the Infinity Wars right here. We're here. The redistricting. I mean, honestly, I already felt like we entered into the Hunger Games with everything that happened with Maine and how the governor of Maine got into it with Trump and then he shut down everything federal. I was like, oh, Maine is District 13 in the Hunger Games. Like this is all part of the revolution.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by this. I've always said for years, like politics has been weaponized in many ways by both parties, not just the Republicans, not just it's Democrats doing things as well. It's sad, but it's the crazy thing is it's not. I don't know the law completely, but I don't think it's illegal. Anything, right? The Democrats leaving and not voting, that's part of it. Like leaving so that they're not the present, so they can call for this vote, and apparently issuing arrest warrants for these politicians. I didn't think that was possible, but it seems like it was something that he can do, and that's what he did. So it's crazy how politics is now, and I think we say that every single year. But it's sad, right? Because it's just like it's you're again, they're not doing anything illegal because they're lawmakers. They're literally lawmakers, and they're changing the law in their favor. That's the scary part, right? So redistricting is something that happens all the time. I know we had an incident of this a few years ago in New York, and then that was even more of a local election, like in the Manhattan borough, and they redistrict certain parts of Manhattan to win seats or whatever. And it's been going on for years and decades and all over the place. So it's just like it's just gaming the system, and everyone does it. Everyone does it in politics and in life. People always try to game the system.
Gaming the system is 1,000% accurate. 1,000%.
All right, fellas. And coming at number 4, we have a former Google X executive has delivered a blunt message about AI. He said that AI will create new jobs. That AI creating new jobs is 100% crap. He warned that even high-level roles like podcasters, video editors, developers, and even CEOs are all at risk of being replaced. Mo Gadot pointed out to his startup, Emma.love, which was built by just 3 people using AI for tasks that previously required 350 developers, as evidence of how quickly roles can shrink. He cautioned that the world is shifting from a phase of augmented intelligence into one of machine mastery, and predicted that mass unemployment and social upheaval by 2027 unless we address the disruptions responsibly. His visions sharply contrast with more optimistic leaders who believe that AI will create valuable new opportunities for those in the right skills. What do you think, fellas?
First and foremost, he said high level roles like podcasters. Did you realize that we were in a high level role as a podcaster? I had no idea that we were such high level. So, no, you cannot cut our role. No way. AI, get out of here.
Yeah, the rise of automation is real. And we see every day, but we don't take full accountability or full account rather of how instrumental it's happening, right? We already have self checkout. That's part of AI.
Mm-hmm.
We already have those robots that are cleaning the supermarket. That's AI. So that person who's looking for a second job, maybe just to mop some floors, is taken over by robots. So this, I think, with the rise of AI, the separation between the haves and the have-nots is just going to go wider and wider and wider.
This to me, it makes sense. I mean, it feeds into humans wanting to do less less work, right? They don't want to do the mundane tasks anymore, right? And now we saw this in the auto industry with automation and robots doing assembly line work, right? And there was a big fight against that for a while, but now that's common, right? And the next level of robotics is artificial intelligence, AI, where now the machines can actually think and don't require a human to help them out. Now, are we there yet from an AI perspective? No, not yet. But that's what we're targeting. That's what we're trending towards. And eventually, we got Terminator Rise of the Machines, right? We got Cybernet coming over and taking over our jobs. So I don't see any other path other than what we're heading towards at this point. Maybe it's going to take 5 years. Maybe it's going to take 10 years. Maybe it's going to take 50 years. But the way AI is developing and the way people are investing in AI, and that's what it comes down to. The corporations are putting money towards AI to make it better, faster, stronger, smarter. And we're going to get to a point where it's going to be at that level, I think. When that's going to happen, who knows? But we're heading there.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the Matrix. We are definitely there. And all I ask of the Matrix is, since I'm in a high level podcasting role, can you make me rich in the Matrix? That's all I care
Yeah,
about. I just want to be rich in the Matrix, and I'm down. Plug me in. All right, so let's take it to a more happy, kind, human uh, news article. So, researchers are analyzing tissue samples from a number of organ donors aged 14 to 68 and have uncovered that human aging doesn't move at a steady pace. Instead, many organs undergo an inflection period around age 50, particularly between the ages of 45 to 55. During this time, key tissues like the aorta, pancreas, and spleen show marked increases in proteins linked to disease, indicating accelerated biological aging. How do you feel about the infinity wars of your body?
I'm in that age group. Everything is down the hill. I need to change my diet. I need to drink more water. It's happening. It's happening to me. I'm in that. I'm fading. I'm fading fast, fellas.
It's crazy because I remember I think it was on Netflix. I remember watching a documentary a few years ago on like the human life cycle, and it broke it down in like every 10 years after a certain age, like after your teenage years, your body does like a major shift. So from
Mm-hmm.
your teens to your 20, something changes drastically physiologically with your body, and even mentally and emotionally. Age 30, something else happens. Age 40, something else and it's just like compounded on top of each other to the point where you're essentially you're breaking down, you're dying, right? And then that's the reality of everyone. Um, uh, it's kind of freaky to read about this stuff, but you do your best to try to be healthy and not feel like a 50-year-old if you're at that point, or even if you're 40, not feel like you're 40 or 30, whatever. But at a certain point, Father Time is undefeated.
True. True story.
Yeah, and Amy Poehler had Idris Elba on his show not too long ago, and they discussed this actual reality of aging, and they're both in their 50s. I believe Amy is 53 and Idris is 52. And he was talking about how like the body just changes. So good thing that you're a little bit older than me and I get to kind of see how it falls apart for you, and then hopefully I can fall in a different direction. So let's take it to number two. Who got the number two article?
At number two, this is a very, very interesting one. So a shocking incident unfolded at Barcelona's airport, El Prat Airport, which a couple allegedly abandoned their 10-year-old son in the terminal after discovering his passport had expired and he needed a visa. So rather than the parents missing their flight, the parents reportedly boarded the plane and arranged for a relative to pick up the boy, but then left him there alone until airport staff intervened and alerted authorities. It's unclear if the parents will face any legal charges. So this is reverse Home Alone, people. Like reverse Home Alone. They purposely left their kid. What do you guys think of this?
Emotional damage
Damage.
for life. Imagine that little boy. Parents like, hey, listen, you just sit here. Someone will come get you. We're going to leave. Like, how do you have that conversation with your child?
You don't.
Like,
I have to say, I honestly respect their gangster. It kind of reminds me of when we were going through our clubbing years and we had to use each other's ID to get in the club.
yes.
And
yes.
the rule was if you weren't able to get in the club, you wait in the car. Like we still going in the club. You're going to have to wait in that car.
But we weren't 10 years old.
Yeah.
What's that?
But we weren't 10 years old.
No, we weren't 10 years old. But I it might have been a little bit too far, but I could understand the gangster because in our family, we definitely did the same thing. Like, hey, if you don't get in, here's the keys. And while everybody else is dancing their ass off in the club, mofo, and I'm one of the younger ones, I'm sitting in the car. So I understand the gangster.
But see, here's the difference. Like at that point, you're an adult to some level, or even a teenager, right? 18, 19, 20, sneaking into the club or whatever. Like, I can see now parents always say, oh, well, if you don't eat this food, if you don't eat the food that I'm making you, you're not going to eat it. You don't get a choice, whatever, right? That's on you for choosing that. He's 10 years old. Who's responsible for getting him the passport to begin with? It's not like he can walk into the passport agency and be like, hey, I need a new passport. He's 10 years old, right? So they're gonna be like, where are your parents? So isn't this on the parents? So like, you didn't think to check your son's passport? I'm sure you checked this to make sure your own passport wasn't expired. Yeah. But you didn't do the same for the 10-year-old. And then you're like, so it's one of those things like, oh, well, it's your fault. Your passport expired. I'm going to leave you. Like as if the kid had any way of fixing it himself, right? That's the crazy part.
That's a little bit heavier than trying to remember one of y'all's addresses. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But when we're going to get the kid back, right? So they called the family member to come pick up the little child, right? But at some point, you need their paperwork, right? And there's a process to get like your visa or your passport renewed. Got to show up to the office or the passport office, take new photos, whatever. When in your mind as a parent, what is the process like to say, I'm gonna leave you here, family member's gonna pick you up, and we'll see you in 2-3 weeks, a month until your new passport and visa gets cleared, and then you're gonna go back to the airport and fly by yourself?
And the crazy point is like, are you okay with leaving a 10-year-old alone in an airport? Like that's crazy. I mean, there's some mature 10-year-old kids, but it's still a 10-year-old kid. And how mature are they? Like, hey, hang out here until your aunt or uncle comes pick you up, or like what? Like that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
That's insane to me. All right. Speaking about insane, the number one spot, and it's controversial, but I understand it. But check this out, guys. There's this zoo in northern Denmark, right? People are up in arms about this because they're asking the public to donate their unwanted pets. guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens, and maybe even horses. And why? So they could be euthanized and fed to the animals in the zoo. The lynx, the lions, the tigers, like they need to eat. So the zoo says the program supports animal welfare by providing predator diets that are more closely resemble natural prey, which includes like fur and bones. And it helps reduce waste by repurposing animals that owners no longer want. So it's like little Timmy, you're not taking care of your dog. I don't want to take care of your dog. I'm going to give it to the zoo for food. So while this is in place for reportedly a number of years, it's in gaining new traction because of this online thing that we have now, and everything becomes public online. So, what do you guys think about this story?
I do like some statistics, and I'll say this. According to US News, there's a ranking of countries, and Denmark is ranked number 10 overall. There's different categories that they rank as well.
Okay.
Where they're ranked number 1 is in social purpose. So I said, what's under the social purpose tagline there that they're ranked number 1? And under social purpose, you have cares about animal rights. You have cares about human rights at 100. You have cares about the environment at 96. Racial equity at 100. Number 1 country under social purpose. I have to let you know that Denmark is now my backup country. I don't know what they speak over there, Denmarkian over there. I am ready to get my passport and be a citizen of Denmark.
This kind of hurts. Like when I first read, I'm like, how dare they? Because I have a dog, right? I have a pet. But then when I started thinking about it, and my logic started kicking in, I'm like, well, if you think about it, when people don't want their pets anymore, what do? Right? Try to give it away if they can to a relative, someone who you think, especially if you like your pet and you want someone to care for your pet, like and be kind to it. 2, if you can't give it away, you give it to the dog pound or the animal shelter, right? Especially if it's a dog, you give it away. But if I don't know how it works in Denmark, but here in the United States, at a certain point, if you can't give away the dog, they euthanize and put the dog down, right? Because they can't care for it anymore. 3, people abandon the dog and hope that it survives somehow. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And the other scenario is you flush it down the toilet, right? Depending on the animal, right? So it's like, then you think about it, you're like, yeah, like, well, if the dog's being put down anyway, like at a certain point, or the animal, then why not, instead of burning it or bury whatever they do, cremating it, like give it to, the zoo for that, and kind of in the circle of life thing, but it just sounds bad. But when you think about it, it's not like they're kidnapping dogs and like, hey, come throw your dog into the butcher shop and like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, but I feel like I would hope people are doing this like as a last resort. That there are people out there that would take a dog, would take an animal or whatever. But again, it's not, when we think about dogs, we think about animals and cats particularly, but they're talking about anything like birds and snakes, I guess, and whatever. But that's really where this is really, really tricky. It makes sense, but it's just emotional for anyone who has pets.
Correct. Some people treat their pets like family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to think about, like, I'm going to give my family member to be eaten. But it makes perfect sense because you're in the wild. That rabbit, that bird is up for grabs. It's up for grabs. So
it's true.
I get it.
All right. So those are the news articles for this week. Until next time, this is our 5 cents. I can't wait to start learning Danish. I already love Danishes, so I already feel like I'm Denmarkian. Peace.